A little girl was forcibly stuffed into a jar, crying out in fear. Her father, his face devoid of emotion, sealed the lid shut and then started shaking his body like a madman. Fierce winds swirled all around as the girl's heart-wrenching wails emanated from inside the jar. Gradually, the man seemed to be possessed by some mysterious force and collapsed headfirst onto a blood-stained mirror. From that day on, the villagers noticed that the shaman and his daughter had vanished. People in the village also started disappearing one by one, and the authorities cordoned off the cave. 80 years later, a brother and sister went up the mountain to search for their dog and stumbled upon this cave. They heard the sound of a dog barking from inside, but it was pitch black, and they couldn't see a thing. The girl bravely poked her head into the cave to take a look. She saw something moving, but before she could make out what it was, her phone suddenly rang. In that instant, something dragged the girl into the cave. The boy was terrified, but he mustered up the courage to peer inside. Right at that moment, a pair of hands reached out. It turned out to be the little girl. She frantically crawled out of the cave, grabbed the boy, and they hastily fled down the mountain. They called the adults in the village to come and investigate. Jack found nothing at the cave entrance, while Jenny discovered a mirror in a nearby house. As Jack ventured deeper into the cave, he heard the sound of someone banging on an iron gate. When he pulled it open, a woman suddenly lunged at him, foaming at the mouth with bite marks on her ears. Before she could utter a word, she died. Left with no choice, the couple reported the incident to the police. That night, heavy rain poured down. Jenny suddenly heard a knocking at the door. When she pulled back the curtains to look, she was shocked to see a little girl standing outside, covered in grime from head to toe. The couple decided to take her in for the night. As Jenny helped her shower, she noticed that the girl's back was covered in countless scars. After the bath, Jenny dressed the girl in her own daughter's clothes. At that moment, the little girl suddenly called out, "Mommy," in a voice identical to their daughter's. Even her name was the same as their daughter's. The next morning, the couple woke up feeling like their eyes were dry and their vision was blurry. As they were puzzling over this, they heard the sound of a bell ringing at the door. Curious, they went out to check. It was the local fortune teller who had come to visit. Being blind, her hearing was exceptionally sharp. She told Jenny that she had heard the voice of a demon the previous night and warned her that their home was in grave danger. After delivering this ominous message, the fortune teller left in a state of panic. The rest of the movie is too intense for me to describe here. This film is called The Tiger of Changshan Mountain.